Welcome back. Tangier Island sits in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay between the eastern shore and the northern neck of Virginia. Well, rising sea levels as a result of climate change and coastal erosion are threatening the livelihood of this small fishing enclave.
It's such a unique place. Meteorologist Caitlin McGrath went to Tangier to dive into what the threats are and how residents are reacting. Caitlin?
Yeah, you really said it, Simone. Tangier Island is such a unique, incredible place with the most welcoming people. But the big message is that the time to take action and save Tangier is running out. Accessible only by boat or a small plane sits Tangier Island, where everyone knows everyone.
How you doing, Norm?
Cars are replaced by golf carts and bikes. A unique dialect is spoken. And being on the water is a way of life.
People out here, the watermen, they're pretty self-reliant, but this issue of the erosion is something bigger than we can handle on our own.
James Eskridge, better known as Ooker, is Tangier born and raised.
My father, grandfather, great-grandfather were crabbers.
More than a crabber, he's also the town's mayor.
Yeah, it would be unthinkable just to abandon this and start over somewhere.
But for the residents of Tangier, it's a race against Mother Nature.
Just a few years ago, this shoreline was where you see the pipe into 4x4s. All this is eaten away just in the past 2 or 3 years.
Coastal erosion is one part of the equation. Sea level rise is another. Whether it's a nor'easter or tropical storm, 4 to 5 times a year, more and more of the island gets inundated.
This street here, this will go underwater. These yards will go under during storms. We've had probably a foot or more of water on these streets. I've actually had to boat on the street here.
Since 1850, Tangier Island has lost 2/3 of its landmass. You know, you've been here your whole life. How has the island changed?
Yeah, we've lost about 6 or 7 other smaller communities that used to be around Tangier. Yes, they're underwater now. They had no means to get protection for their community, so they just abandoned the communities and they're underwater now. So that's what we don't want to happen here.
Seen the island change a lot.
David Schulte, an oceanographer for the United States Army Corps of Engineers, has been studying Tangier Island for the past 21 years.
Most of the trees have died. There's more flooding.
He predicts that by 2053, residents will no longer be able to live on Tangier.
Every year, there's going to be less habitable land and fewer people on it.
David's most recent report was written with a special co-author, his son, Zahau, who was a high school senior when the peer-reviewed journal was published.
It was me and the beanbag, him in the chair, discussing what should we include, staring at the map of Tangier for hours and hours on end.
With a specific focus at the rate of which uplands are becoming wetlands.
Right now, one leg is standing on wetland, another leg is standing on upland. And if you keep going, the soil becomes mushier and mushier until you get to here, where it's just swamp.
To help save and restore the island, more seawalls need to be built, similar to the jetty constructed on the western side of Tangier by the Army Corps of Engineers back in 1989.
We were losing 25 to 30 feet of shoreline there each year. We haven't lost an inch since then, so it works.
While seawalls would slow down erosion, they don't combat sea level rise. Scientists hope to one day elevate the island with dredging material, a practice already proven successful at Tangier's neighboring Port Isabel Island. But it would take an estimated $250 to $350 million to save Tangier.
It's not too late, but we're getting there.
Virginia Senators Tim Kaine and Mark Warner have secured $500,000 for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to continue planning restoration efforts, including obtaining necessary environmental authorizations to hopefully someday build seawalls and dredging materials to build up the island. But really the message is this needs to happen soon. This is the livelihood of hundreds of people on the island.
And so correct me if I'm wrong here, are they just one tracked tropical storm or hurricane away from just being completely inundated?
It'll be years. It'll be about 30 years before it's uninhabitable. But every time you do see those big storms, they do have to evacuate. Their homes go underwater. So really high impact for so many people.
I did want to mention too, even just the day-to-day for people who live on the island. I mean, a lot of them use bicycles or golf carts to get around, and so the impact that has on their day-to-day is, tough to deal with.
And a lot of the people who live there have been there their entire lives. Generations of their family have lived on Tangier. So the thought of leaving to them truly is unthinkable. So hopefully we can get the funding that we need to help save the island.
It's a Chesapeake Bay treasure that should definitely be preserved.
It is.
For sure.